think I am running one of the easiest businesses. High margin, good frequency. Yeah. Actually, we have only 7% return, so even that's not an issue. So very happy business. No issues to deal with. Yeah, just going back to, I think the question is more about the first customer, first seller, right? How did we get them on board, right? In going back, as I kind of like said in the first session, nothing exciting prior to starting Munich, right? Very dull bio in terms of just graduating, working in software, MBA, working in MNC, right? Even if you look at my family, there are no businessmen, like from my dad to uncles to anybody in the family circle. Everybody had jobs and they either worked for private companies or for government. Right? So I decided to start a company. I don't know what it means to run a company, right? The only company I knew was Amazon. So I thought like starting a company is just like I put a rental office, hire people. We continue to work like how we used to work at Amazon, right? And in fact, that's what we ended up doing. We never ended up doing anything different, right? So for me, the first year, what I did at Wooding was not very different from what I did at Amazon. In Amazon I was a product manager, so it's pretty same thing, right? What to build, how to build, when to launch, how to launch, right? Same kind of thing. So we decided to start this company, and the first thing we decided was like, hey, what is going to be our strategy? What is going to be a differentiator? What is going to be, and we kind of read a lot of startup articles because IIMB co-founder, we did not have any experience on the e-commerce side, right? So one thing we decided was ultimately a culture should be a differentiator and it should come from us in terms of whatever we are going to do. But the part was there was no very differentiated cultural elements either in me or in my co-founder, right? So we were very geeky introverts who just work on silos in our systems, right? So I cannot come and say this company is going to be fun, exciting, buzzing, and all of that because we are not that, right? But at the same time, how do I hire people and how do I build a company where I go and say it's going to be a very dull company, it's going to be a very grounded company. But we decided to stick to the truth. We said, hey, this company is about being fundamentally nice. Finally, we decided like that's what defines us. I know in a lot of Amazon meetings, people yell at each other, shout at each other. People try to prove their points. When I came out of Amazon and I started Wooding, I said one thing what you want to change from the Amazon culture is we said meritocracy is taken or interpreted in different way where people kind of just shout, demand and try to prove their points. I want to build a company which is just nice, made of nice people. We do things the nice way, right? And then we thought that's a good culture to have. So we ended up with our first cultural element saying it's fundamentally nice. We are just nice people. We will hire only nice people. Somebody come and say like, I will bulldoze that, I can do that, I can do this. Even in sales, we ended up hiring only the nice people, right? So that became the culture, and then we already had a value prop. The other key decision was, should we build a retail company or a platform company, right? The pipeline versus platform business. I was not excited about retail. Even when I see big stores like a Nordstrom or a Macy's or anybody like, I didn't get excited about improving this inventory turnovers and same store sales, and that's a line of area which excites somebody but not me, right? I was always excited about tech, and platform is a way to get a license fee for tech, right? That's how I saw that. So I thought I would rather build something like an eBay or an Uber rather than something like a Macy's or an Nordstrom, right? So we decided it's going to be a platform. It's going to be just tech. We will build a tech platform and we will charge a commission for people who use the platform, which is going to be the consumers and the sellers. Right? So now, platform or a marketplace, however you call it, it's two-sided. You You need sellers, you need consumers, and it's as professor says, it's a chicken and egg problem. How do you get started, right? Coming from Amazon, I had one core belief: sellers will come if consumer demand is there. However much painful it is, sellers will come as long as there is a demand. The other side is not true. You can have the world's best selection, still the consumer might not come to you just for that. Right? This again happened because I said Amazon, I was part of few failed ventures, right? Where we got, because of the Amazon brand, getting the supply side was very easy. Same thing happened at Visa as well. When we built the PayPal competitor, because of the Visa brand, all the sellers signed up. Getting the consumer was the trickiest part, right? So we said, if I solve the tricky part, which is consumer acquisition, seller acquisition is going to be easy, right? So that part was decided. We are going to acquire customers first. But when consumers are coming to the platform, they need to see some supply. What are they going to see? How are you going to get that, right, if you don't have that? So what we did was, we tied up with this bigger players, bigger fashion marketplaces and retailers at the time, online players, right? Jabongs, we started with Fashionara, then we added Zoe, then Jabong, then Snapdeal. We kind of tied up all these players. And now what happens is, like, I have some 3-4 players who already is giving me lakhs of items. So I have already got the supply. One thing we did was, because our vision was always to be a platform to own the end-to-end customer experience, and we were very confident in tech, we built tech such a way that customer is never redirected to a Jabong or a Snapdeal. You can go and buy a top from Jabong, bottom from Snapdeal, accessory from Fashionara, everything in a single click, right? So that way, like for a consumer, it's like buying from Wunik, but the supply will come from its respective retailers, right? And obviously the question would be, why would they even agree? How did you make them agree, right? Because they know it has not been done before. Till Wunik started, affiliate was always redirection business. You have My Smart Price, or you have even Amazon generally, wherever. You see an item, if it is from Jabong, you click, you go to Jabong website, and then you ended up buying, right? That's what was the affiliate business by the time. We went ahead and said, I am also going to do affiliate business, but it's going to be different, where the order is going to be placed within Wunik, customer support is going to be Wunik customer support, everything is going to be owned by Wunik, right? So the challenge was, first, before we got into a big customer base, we tried to kind of fly under the radar, right? So we went ahead and tied up with the affiliate networks, like Tyru, and there were OMG, like there are few affiliate networks. And there the agreements were kind of dicey, right? We said that it doesn't clearly say that you cannot not redirect, because nobody envisioned that scenario. Only if you know the scenario, you put that the terms and conditions and all of that, right? Because nobody envisioned, it didn't specifically prohibit you from doing that. But always the seller or the supplier can come back and say, oh, I don't like this experience, you stop. That risk was always there, but nothing in the terms and condition prohibited that. So we went ahead and said, so again, I always had this philosophy, we are going to have a lot of problems. The business is not going to be without problems. And we should be happy whenever we get good problems. If I grow and I become a threat to one of these suppliers or sellers or marketplaces, and they come and complain against me, it's a good problem. It's a good problem because I am growing, that's why the threat is coming. On the other side, if the consumers don't even buy from me, it's a bad problem. Even though the supplier is happy with me, it doesn't matter, right? So I always said, let's optimize for the good problems. So that's how we tied up with Tyru as an affiliate network, and we started showing Fashionara items, and I don't remember a couple of other retailer items. So we had the supply figured out, and then we had the consumer. This was back in 2013. So the consumer side, as usual, first we tried like sending emails to friends, families, making them purchase. It was not really giving us any data. Right? Somebody might purchase because they know you, or somebody might decide not to purchase. So what does it say, right? So like Mukesh also said, I wanted to get some initial traffic. So we ended up paying, I think we just did a small Facebook campaign, like 2,000, 3,000 rupees, something like that. to get some traffic into the system. And then we kind of, as I said, my definition of running a business is like doing daily work, like what we do at Amazon. When traffic comes, it becomes a daily work. People have to start optimizing the funnel, people have to start optimizing catalog, people have to start processing orders, so it becomes a business, so you can start running it. So I just started spending the 2,000, 3,000 to get that initial consumer side, and then started optimizing like what they like, what they don't like. Very early on, we started making certain decisions. Immediately the data said the product was working more for women, not for men. So we kind of shut down men and we said it's going to be only for women, right? And then it kind of ended up going like that. Then within women, we figured out it's working more for tier 2, tier 3 people. So we defined like what we say call as everyday women, the real women of India. She's not fashion forward, she's not metro conscious, she's not brand conscious. So what we said is, and we figured out the reason, right? The incumbents at that time were all focused on this fashion forward. If you look at the ads, if you look at their value prop, everywhere they were showing like celebrities and actresses. Like we said, no, that's not the fashion that these people understand, right? So these people want to wear normal kurti, everyday wear, normal leggings, normal saris. So what does fashion mean for that saris, right? And by the virtue of the data, you went into unbranded, because what's the brand in sari? What's the brand in kurti? People don't necessarily attribute anything, right? So you go more and more into long tail, right? But till 2015, even after raising our Series A, we were always working only in the affiliate mode. The good part was and getting these partnerships with these bigger marketplaces. I would say it has nothing to do with strategy or common sense. It's all about relationship, right? And psychology. Because in 2014, for all these marketplaces, the game was GMB game. The moment you showed that you are contributing to 10% of the GMV, even if they don't like you, they think you as a threat, you are competition, they cannot leave you, because the whole game was around GMV, right? So to understand the psychology, you have to understand the motivation, you have to understand the motivation starting from the CEO till the marketing manager, till the product manager. So every seller relationship at that time was unique. We had less than 10 sellers. In terms of how we go there, how do we attack? For example, with one of the players, I took a token investment from their investors, so I have now a common investor so that this person will come on. With other person, I go into something else. So it has nothing to do with strategy, nothing to do with relationship. It's only 5 to 10 people, right? So you will hack your way around to get those big players to partner with you, right? So meanwhile, like as I said, that's the first. I'll cover the third part as well, right? First investor. So first consumer, as I said, just Google, Facebook, and then start optimizing using data, start targeting, so you get that. And then first supplier, you went through affiliate networks, showed traction, become significant enough for one supplier. We went one by one seller partner, one by one. If you had signed up 20 seller partners, we would have failed, because they would have immediately shut down once they saw that you were owning the end-to-end customer experience. But what we did was, we went one, became significant for that person so that they cannot leave us. Then went from affiliate network contract to direct contract, where I went to Fashioner and said, let's have one-on-one contract. I went to Jobam and did that, right? Now it becomes a one-on-one relationship where it becomes a relationship game, right? So similar to that, similarly first investor also, like at the end of 2013, again I did not have any VC connection, nothing. So I participated in a television program where the winner will get seed round. So I won that and I got that seed round of 2.5 crores seed fund. So we had some money, and then like we started using that to keep going. One big pivot was we became app only, because again we were always going by the data that what can we do with the others were not doing. Suppose that the traction became more. With that, we got our Series A from Sequoia. And after that, I started building the marketplace part. Once I had like $5 million with me, I started building the marketplace part. By the time, we already had like crores of sales going through this affiliate. And my thesis proved right, that if consumer is there, supplier will come. If consumer is there, sellers will come. That became right, because once we decided to build a marketplace, again we looked at like where should we go. We said we will do category by category. We picked saree as the first category. Then we looked at markets. For example, Surat was already selling on a lot of other online marketplaces, Surat sellers. We said we will go there and then we will first become leader in saree. So we went to Surat, we sent some 4 or 5 member team who kind of went there and started getting sellers one by one. And again, same strategy, right? The initial sellers saw big success. So word of mouth spread, signing on sellers became easy. We still concentrated only on sarees and slowly dress materials. Then we became number one in sarees. We overtook everybody from the incumbents, horizontal incumbents like Amitra, Jabong, or even to the verticals to horizontals like Flipkart Fashion, Amazon Fashion. You become big in saree, and then you go to dress materials, you become number one in dress materials. Then suddenly in Surat, you become number one. If you look at the number of shipments going out of Surat, you become number one. Right? With that, then we said, this is the playbook. Now let me go and do this for kurtis in Jaipur, footwear in Agra, western wear in Delhi, inner wear in Tirupur, right? So you kind of start doing that. But I would say, just on the signing up side, supply was 100 times easier than the consumer acquisition side. The trick is on the consumer acquisition, right? If you kind of figure out a flywheel, figure out a way of keep getting the consumers, this is not a category where supply is going to kill you. If you are in some other category, for example, some baby products, where supply is a constraint, so you have to focus on supply. Where supply consumers will come. But here, this fashion supply is not a constraint. You want a kurti that is sold out, hundreds of sellers are standing in the queue to manufacture that for you, or to sell that for you. Supply was super easy, right? So that's how like we build consumer, we build consumer, showed demand, got our seed fund, showed more traction, got our Series A, showed that consumer traction, and then like got our supply, and then like it became a platform.